Alright, here we have our all original 1994 Ford F-150 regular cab short bed. It's the 4x4 XLT with the 5.8 351 V8. It's got all the power windows, power door locks. This is its original black paint job, which is always hard to find. It's got the gray interior. This is a really clean body. I mean, there's no rust anywhere. Always a Washington truck. The underside belly of the truck is in crazy condition. It's got 197,000 miles, but underneath you wouldn't believe it. I mean, I got all the pictures and everything underneath there. You can see how clean the underside belly of the cab and box is. You can still see the dealer markings on the front cross member, decals on the rear end and stuff like that. So this is a customer of ours vehicle. He bought it brand new at Quorum Ford, just south of Seattle, about 20 miles. And as mentioned in the other videos, and you'll see in the text, this has got a killer body. I mean, it actually runs and it drives good, really nice and tight, shifts good, it runs smooth, pulls strong on the throttle. It's got a ton of power, but it has a little bit of a motor noise. It's like a little ticking noise, and as you'll hear me talk about it in the other videos. But this one I kind of want you to go over the body and stuff like that. This is original paint. You know, you can see it's got the pinstriping. It's faded out throughout the years of buffing and stuff like that. But if you go along the front here, there's no rock chips, amazingly. I mean, there's not one. So I'm assuming he had a bug guard on it. But he's been, you know, as mentioned before in the other ones, he's been driving this for quite a while with this little ticking noise. You know, we told him we were selling off some project vehicles and stuff like that and listing them, and he asked us if we'd list this for him. So here we are. All the chrome is nice, got nice depth to it. Good looking color lamps, nice clear corner lamps. This one's a little bit foggy, but I think you can get in there and clean that out. Passenger side's a little bit more clear, but same thing, corner lamps look really nice. Even along here, I mean, there's just a couple little stone chips, the small ones, but I'll go nice and slow. But usually it just gets peppered up here and beat up, especially for black. And this truck hasn't been detailed out. I mean, this is pretty much how he drives it and how he keeps it. You know, we didn't want to, you know, put a bunch of money in it for him and stuff like that, but I also wanted to show it, you know, as you stand back here. And you can see how clean this is. We wanted to show it and present it the way it's been cared for. The bumper does have some little scuffing on the rubber trim. It's got a slight dent right there. You can see there. This would probably come off some lacquer thinner, or just some rubber or some paint from something else. It's got some marks there. It's got some marks there and a little mark there. Tiny scrape there. Otherwise, bumper looks good. Grill's chrome's nice. Got a nice emblem, but it does have a crack right there. And the center paint's faded out. I mean, no clear coat or paint peeling issues. The cowl's in nice shape, not dented in right here. You know, a lot of times the paint will start peeling right here or peeling right here. Window does have a crack in it, but we could get a window done for 175 bucks if you guys want. It's got these kind of, you know, original option fiberglass, basically fender flare that rolls into molded fiberglass running boards all the way around that are nice shape. They don't have, got a little stress cracking on this one, but other than that, they're in good shape. There's a slight ding with no paint damage, you could see. If I get at the right angle, there you can kind of see it right there. But there's no dents or anything on this body. All the rubbers are in nice black, soft condition. It's got tinted windows. You know, it's an aftermarket tint, so you could pull it out. It's got a little bit of scuffing there. A couple of chips. But again, for being black, and this truck shows really good. I mean, even around here, there's not very much wear. Usually it's all scratched up and, you know, beat up around there. Little scratch. Got a scratch. Got a chip. Just a couple chips on the door edges. But thankfully for these running boards, it's got really almost no rock chips on the bottom. And you got a little chip there. You know, you got a couple little chips there, chip there. I mean, you'll find some little chips throughout, but I mean, you got a couple there. But I mean, if you look right here, I mean, this is nice black paint. So really what you want to be buying here is really the body and the originality of this thing. You know, there's a slight ding right there. It's really hard to capture because there's no paint damage or anything. There you go. You can see it right there. But, you know, worst case scenario, I mean, who knows, you could drive this thing, you know, for a long time and never have an issue. But just plan for worst case scenario. Maybe you have to put a motor in it eventually. But I mean, driving it power-wise, you just can't tell that it's got an issue. Got a chip right there. You never use this as a truck. I mean, this is, you got a couple of chips, a couple of chips, a couple of chips. The paint is a little bit faded, a little bit hazy, but it's still got nice, you know, nice deep reflection. You can see. You have a grouping of chips there. You got chip there, chip there. Now you're gonna see some little chips. But black's really reflective, so I'm just trying to point out the stuff that's not just stuff on the ground. And this is actually not scratch or something. It's actually something in the paint like you ran over. It feels like a dried epoxy or something. And then there's, you know, you're gonna have your groups of chipping and stuff like that. So it's kind of got a little bit of sandblasting going on there because the fender flare doesn't cover and it doesn't have mud flaps. It's got some 31-inch 10.5 all-terrains on some custom centerline style wheels, American Racings. Rear bumper's in nice condition. It's just got some dried wax here and there. The top piece is faded a little bit, but you can see it's never had a trailer package. It isn't all banged up right here. Just got a little, you know, paint fading and flaking. But even you look around here, I mean, look how nice that silver is on this thing. Chrome's got really nice depth. And you got a weird little mark. Let's keep backing into something sharp. I mean, you look underneath and you look at the fuel tank, how clean it is. You can see the original dealer tag on the right, and then there's right below the shock mount, you can see the blue dealer marking, the assembly line. You know, it's got your standard Ford factory drop-in bed liner. He screwed some anchors in. You got your diamond plate rails. Again, you got the pinstriping, but it's a little dirty up here and a little bit faded. But I mean, there's just a couple of chips there. And this thing would just look really killer if someone were to go through and do a couple coats of wax on it. This plastic piece is faded a little bit and it's got crack there. And it's got chip out there. But you can replace just this piece. I mean, the aluminum's in good shape. It's got a little ding there. This is just something in the paint. It's a nice black paint. Got a little scuff there. Rear tail lights are a little bit faded. This one seems to have a little crack that goes up to right about there, but no, doesn't seem to have any condensation in there. But it looks like you got into something clearly there, but it didn't dent the body at all, which is nice. Just slightly got into it. Yeah, just nice black paint. Couple little small chips. Small chip. Other than that, I mean, it's just great condition. The bulkhead's nice and straight. Paint between the cab and box is nice and shiny. I mean, it's just beautiful. A couple little small chips, one there, one there. The bedside looks really nice. Just a small scratch right there, chip right there. Again, you do have on both sides of the fiberglass flares slash running boards, there's going to be some kind of sandblasting, peppering right here. That's going to happen on both sides. Some scratches and stuff. But this is probably when he was backing into something. Top of the cab's nice. You know, this thing hasn't been modified. Nothing's been screwed into the interior. Nothing's been screwed into the body. And just nice black shiny paint. Again, I mean, look at this. Is crazy right here, but there's not a single rock chip. I mean, there's no rock chips, no rock chips. Got a little one right there. You got a couple right in this area, and you have a couple right there. But running boards are good. They haven't had any impact or anything. Looks like these had to re-glue this down. It's just have some marks in it, but that would wax out there. I think it's just he put a cleaner on there and it oxidized it. Nice looking fender, got a little mark right there. Other than that, it's really nice paint. You know, oh, it's got a little dent in the mirror. Doors all shut nice. I mean, no door gap issues, no accidents. Interior's in relatively pretty good condition. It's a non-smoker. It's got, the dash is perfect. A lot of times you get cracks up here. I mean, nothing's been screwed into it. It's got the factory stereo. It hasn't been adjusted out. No marks up there. It's got the factory cup holder with the storage compartment. With the full bench with the fold down armrest. Passenger side of the seat is pretty much perfect. You got your lumbar support, but it's missing the little cover. It's got some factory mats, but the carpet has taken, a little bit of a beating. You know, it's got some darker areas, but you can get brand new carpet for about 139 bucks to the door with the jute matting. I'll get a good picture of, because it's not pulling up very good in the video, but door panel is nice, no cracks, no chips, no real, it's just got a couple little marks there, little scuff there, and this stuff would probably just come off, you know. When you look along here, it's just nice and clean, nice and dry. I mean, there's just no entry marks at all. Doors shut really nice. I mean, all the gaps, all the fender gaps are really nice. I mean, you can see there, door gap there. And this is the sandblasting I was talking about on this fender flare. You can kind of see. But, you know, 197,000 miles, it's been extremely well cared for. I mean, shuts real nice. You open up, it's just a little dirty and stuff like that. I mean, you give this thing a top to bottom cleaning. You know, he's just getting up in his years and stuff, and he's taking really good care of it, but he's just not able to keep up on the waxes and the cleaning and stuff like that. That's kind of why he's decided to let it go. And the dash is perfect, really nice clean gauges. The steering wheel's got some breakdown, you can see right there, some like a lot of these Fords, so now it's got a cover on it. It's just got a little mark there, little hole here, a couple little small marks, but in good condition. Just needs a little cleaning. Again, the entry levels, entry sides are a little darker. I'll go ahead and pop the hood. I'll see if I can get some light under here. But I mean, you can see how clean that underside belly is. I mean, there's just no real dirt and grime. You know, you just got your surface rust on the frame just because they didn't coat it with that much paint. But look how clean the transfer case is. It's had the brakes replaced. It's got new brake lines up front. And we're going to go into depth more on this one with some more videos than normal just because of the motor noise. It's got the 351. I mean, you can see nothing's ever been adjusted. You know, pretty clean engine bay, but, you know, also nice and honest. Never been adjusted. No marks there. So we'll go ahead and fire it up. And we'll also do, you know, we do the driving video as normal, cold start video. And then I'll stand outside while I have somebody else drive it so you can hear that noise. The camera's probably going to make it, you know, kind of heightens noises, so it'll probably sound a little louder than it is. But you can kind of just hear that ticking. It doesn't get any louder when it's cold or warm. It doesn't get any quieter. It doesn't change sounds. It's just a loud, you know, it's kind of like if you had a small ball-peen hammer and you were kind of hitting it on the top of the intake. It's kind of the sound it makes, or the top of the valve cover. Let's see if we can. You can see it's not smoking or ticking or anything. It's just got your cold weather condensation. But we're gonna get her warmed up here, get her for a drive, and this is going at no reserve, so it's an awesome truck. Just know of its faults, and I mean, with a little bit of time on doing, you know, polishing this thing up, maybe throwing some new carpet in it. You know, honestly, I'd look into the motor issue a little bit, but otherwise you can probably just drive it like he's been doing. Or worst case, if you got a really rusty truck with a killer motor, just take out the 351 and throw it in there. So please ask any questions on that or anything else, and this is going at no reserve 7-day auction.